Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Side Order. I am your host for today, Odinson, and today I am giving my first look and review on Undergoes. But before we get into all that, I just want to ask y'all to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, because hey, here at The Side Order, you will always have a seat at the table, so pull up a chair and join us. All right, so Undergoes is a mining kind of game. It is multiplayer. Um, you go see, you can see I'm heading. Oops, I accidentally steered off. You can see I've got my basically in the middle there. I've got that shiny spot, kind of a circle with the cross in it there. That is an empty spot. We are underground in a giant mine vehicle, should I say? And when you get to one of these, you'll burst out to an open spot, and then you can go mining for resources, which you can then use to build things. We'll get to that in a moment when we hit this place. Hit it. There we go. And okay, no. There we go. Anyway, once we get there, there'll be enemies, stuff to mine. You build things. You only have a certain amount of air, so you only have a certain amount of time in which to build and mine in any given level. This is a slight problem, and I'll get to that later. But otherwise, you go out there, you mine, you can build stations, put them up to build better materials. It's progression as you'd almost expect from a game like this. And that's a good thing. It does have a little bit of uniqueness in it that you're almost instantly moving to other workbenches and things to gain other knowledge and whatever in the game. You have to eat. Eating also restores your health. That's what I have the 12 mushrooms in slot 4 for. And behind me, I have a chest, which has all of the stuff I've mined out from the other couple of levels I've been in before. And we'll dig out to a level here in just a second. And any second now, we'll pop out to an open cavern. Boom, there it is. Down goes the ship, and here we are. Now see again. Again, that's all the stuff we had before, and what we have to do, first of all, we'll open this up, set up our library, and our forge. That way we can get to making stuff once we go out here. Now here's some enemies. This is a scorpion. Now, one thing I actually, now we'll start getting into the positive things I like about the game is I actually very much like the enemy design. It's very interesting. They've got this look to them that the only way I can describe it is they remind me of the old Commodore Amiga commercials from the late 80s and 90s, and just the way that those things looked all like polygonal, and odd, but you could tell what they were, and these very much have that in that weird 80s, early 90s kind of look to them. And I appreciate that. The enemies I very much like about this game. The progression in terms of how you actually progress is interesting, if not as deep as some other games. However, it's interesting. The enemies, as I said, look very, very cool. These things kind of look almost like horse scorpions. And bash them with your pickaxe. There we go. Some horse scorpions. Now, pretty much everything in the level can be destroyed, which is also interesting. And you get resources from all of it. And grass. You destroy the grass, you can destroy the lily pads or clover or whatever that is. Heck, I'd be willing to bet I can probably destroy that castle. We'll find out. So, I mean, that's very interesting. I like the fact that everything in the level can be destroyed. That's interesting. So, and unusual. Usually in a lot of levels or games like this, you can't destroy absolutely everything. In this one, however, nothing is safe. If it exists in the level and isn't part of the big cave, you can bust it. So that's a definite plus on this game side. However, busting something like this takes quite a while. However, you can do it. So I'm willing to bet that. I don't know what that is. Yep, and that just took down the whole castle. The whole thing. So, you know, you can destroy everything, and that's pretty cool. I do, however, have to just say that I don't like the fact that that castle comes down like that. It seems like it should be more than one piece, not just one like that. That. I mean, mechanically, the game is at least interesting. I do find the controls slightly counterintuitive. But that being said, I find the positives of this game is the crafting system is at least interesting, somewhat streamlined down from a lot of games like this. But the fact that it actually has some sort of a crafting system, well, also at the same time being a salvage and collection game, this reminds me a little bit of a Lethal Company or a Sketchy's Contract, but with mining. And it has a slight look to it that's like kind of almost a content warning, I guess, is the most similar thing I can think of. The content warning is black and white unless we're in the overworld. I find the fact that you can clear everything very cool. I haven't gotten very far into the crafting menu, but it doesn't... It leaves me wondering why you would craft some of the stuff. But, all that being said, the game's not bad. If you like a survival, like, kind of horror crafting game, this might be up your alley. You might find that this is something you'll really enjoy. Now, myself, I could get into this game. But I probably won't, and here's why. Well, I find this very fascinating, and I can't say that I don't recommend the game. I don't necessarily recommend it either. And I say that because there's a few things that I find, for me anyway, ruin the experience. And number one for me has got to be the color scheme. Well, I do like what they're going for in the visual style, the color scheme, and just contrast to some of the colors. It looks like somebody messed with the contrast on their TV really bad. Like, it leaves me feeling like I want to fix the colors on my monitor or something the whole time I'm playing it. And because of that contrast of colors and whatever, it almost gets hard to play for myself after about 20 minutes or so. It starts hurting my eyes just because, like, why does this have to be so contrastingly bright, yet dull at the same time? As crazy as that sounds, it's like it's bright, but it's dull at the same time. And that contrast when you hit the bright parts against all these really light, but yet at the same time, garish parts at the same time, it's a stab in the eyeballs. Secondly, I don't like the fact that you don't get to build anything permanently. I kind of get what they're going for with that, but that you have to take up and put down everything every time means you're just going to eat up so much of your time. So I guess my biggest recommendations for this game: 1, tone the colors back. And if you want some of the stuff to be bright, make it bright. But having the walls be pink and purple like that, and then other things lit up neon colors, bright as day, it's the contrast. It's hard to look at, and it makes the game, I won't say ugly, because that's not exactly what I'm trying to say, but it makes it almost hard to look at it for me. The fact that, yeah, again, I have to actually literally pick up everything every time I go anywhere is also highly suspect, and I'm not a fan. So that I could do with it. So I guess recommend tone the colors back because it's too bright. Make it so when you pick up all your stuff at the end, like I haven't built anything here, more or less just been mining because there's almost like I'm already down more than half my hair. By the time I got another thing built and the pieces together for it, it would be time to break all this down and pick it up, unless I intend to leave it here and make it all over again, in which case I'm just eating even more of my time. This game desperately needs either a way to make a base that you can pack up all at once, or make the base a back area onto the drill that you continually build. This is not, I am not a fan. Now, maybe some of this I've missed. I haven't played very much of this game. This is, of course, my very much first look review. I could play a dozen hours of this and see that a bunch of my complaints that I'm having now are taken care of when you get deeper into the game. Maybe there is a place that you can build a persistent base somewhere. If that is the case, I'd like to hear about it. So let me know in the comments, anybody, if that is the case. However, as far as I've seen, and I've gone to 5 or 6 of these levels, mined a bunch of stuff, built a bunch of the other benches, yeah. So I guess in summation, I'll say this. Game's a little too bright. The tech tree is very interesting. I like the enemy design a lot. It has that weird retro, like you'd almost expect to see in a really well done video game in the 80s or early 90s, and that is really cool. The art style actually is a positive, but they need to tone the colors down in one way or another because it's just so garish and clashing that it's hard to look at. Do not plug a controller in while you're trying to play this game, or it will mess with your movement in a bad way, and you'll have to actually exit the game, shut the whole game down, disconnect your controller, and restart it before it'll fix. If you just unplug your controller, like exit to main menu and come back, it'll still be doing it. It's a minor problem, but it is a problem. Positively, I like that you can destroy everything. That is really cool that you can clear out the whole cave. The enemies are cool. The progression tree, though thinner than some other games I've seen, is very interesting, and I like that. It's very, very interesting, and I do like and appreciate that it is. However, at the same time, I do wish. I guess what I'm saying more than anything is this game needs more. More. Now, I'm sure the devs are planning on adding more. But at the moment, it's not quite there because it just needs something else added to it, a little more depth to the crafting. A little more depth to the crafting, a little more variety maybe in what you can craft. You know? And that would be pretty cool. I do like the driving the ship to get to the caves thing. That's very neat. Very, very, very neat. So, like that. Yeah, and here you go. You see, you have to actually drive the ship towards. Towards another cave. There we go, like that, and then eventually we would hit that. So yeah, in summation, I guess I can't recommend this game, but I can't not recommend it either. I think if it keeps getting some work, they tone the colors down, and they give you a way to make a more permanent base, this game could be very much a hit, very interesting. But as it is now, like I said, I can't recommend it, but I don't not recommend it either. So thank you for joining me. This has been Undergoes, an interesting game that falls just short of excellence. I have been Odinson. This has been the Side Order. Please don't forget to check out our Discord. Link is in the description below, as is a link to our merch shop. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you all next time.